Welcome to Creative Brews. I'm Kristen, and this is your weekly dose of creativity, where photography, design, and life come together. So, grab your favorite drink, and let's talk about what's brewing. Good morning! How's everybody doing out there? I'd like to say Happy Easter. I'm filming this on Easter, so yes. Hope everybody is, like I said, having a happy Easter, doing great. I'd like to know what you all did for your Easter, how it went, and stuff like that. My cat is getting on my nerves. She is just. I might have to go and put her up. She is just. Okay, so to explain, my cat's name is Moonshine. Lately, I've been calling her Honey, so I'm debating on naming her Honey Moonshine or something like that. Excuse me, I'm still kind of all nasally and dealing with allergies and stuff like that, but anyways, so she is definitely, my cat is definitely the annoying best friend that you either have or didn't ask for. That's how I like to describe her, because I think that just explains her personality so well. Like, she would be like that best friend that is always checking up on you. Even if they haven't heard from you in a while, they're just like, are you sure you're okay? Anyways, so yeah, I might have to cut and go put her up. But yeah, so happy Easter. Hope everybody has a great day, a great Easter. We basically did quite a few things. I've got a little thing here that me and my boyfriend put together. Mostly he put together, and I was there for support. But we celebrated Easter a little early just because, of course, I have my son, but he also has 3 other kids. So we kind of celebrated a little early because he gets them sort of part-time, basically, and their mom gets them the rest of the time. So their mom has them today, so we celebrated Easter basically yesterday, Saturday. So we celebrated by tie-dyeing shirts because James is really young, so I was like, well, in my brain, I mean, dyeing eggs is fun, don't get me wrong. And I'm sure we'll do it at least once, or maybe a couple times with James, but I was just, thinking, and he's now 4 months now. Oh, that's sad. It's sad but exciting all at the same time. And I'm like, well, what can we do? And also too, he got his 4 month shots as well. So he was pretty tired and, just uh, you know, pretty sleepy. So um but anyways, yeah, we tie-dyed shirts, and then what else did we do? We got pizza, we ordered in pizza, and then I think that night, me and my boyfriend, I had this Lego set that my mom bought me probably a couple years ago already now. That's crazy. And it's a camera. It can either be a camera or a camcorder. And so I was like, we should put that to get together because he got one of his sons a Lego set, a Minecraft Lego set, because he's a big fan. And I was like, we should put together that little camera Lego set. So it actually has like, you can turn the little knob. It's got a shutter, and you can twist. It's basically a film camera, and you can open up the back as well, and it's got film in it. Isn't that cute? I think that's so cute. Anyways, I have it up here on the desk. You may or may not be able to see it. And then I have another camera over here that my dad bought me. And then I've got 2 lenses over there. It's kind of dark back there, but I do plan on, I love neon signs. I plan on getting like an on-air neon sign. I think that'd be cute. Okay, and then behind me, as you'll notice, it's my website. I'm still so very excited. I'm constantly, working on it in the background, just trying to make it better, and whatnot. So, yes, I have it on behind me. You can check it out. I'll have it linked in this video / in the show notes, as well as the description. So that way, everybody can take a look at it. I do plan on maybe doing some like incorporation of some different things along the way. It's not going to happen all at once just because I'm still promoting it. I'm trying to kind of like promote it a little every day. Not like a big campaign, but I do plan on doing a big campaign for it, so that way I can really push it out there, and whatnot. So, it's 9 in the morning. We all know the deal. I've got coffee. But, yeah, so today's video, our podcast, I wanted to do on energy. Just because I think it's just something different to talk about. And I've wanted to talk about it, for a little while, actually. There's quite a bit of different subjects that I want to talk about throughout the season of this podcast and seasons to come. So, yes. Basically, I wanted to talk about, and of course I've got my phone with my little notepad up. It basically has some things written down that I didn't want to forget about. So, as far as energy goes, we all know that there's energy all around us. The energy that you can't see. Energy that runs cars, that's not the energy that I'm talking about today. I'm talking about like, how would I explain it? Basically, like, I guess not the law of attraction, but, maybe like what I want to talk about today is more like how to, like, sometimes you have to get disconnected in order to reconnect, if that makes any sense. So basically I have written down that from time to time you have to disconnect in order to reconnect. So that way you can basically go inward and look inside, and just kind of basically work on yourself and your life and what, around you, what's around you and stuff like that. So as we all know, everything is energy, movement, the turning on a light. That's more like power. I hope I'm doing a good job about describing what I mean. Um, but anyways, basically how I started, like, okay, in photography, how the reason why I even started doing photography is because what I would do is when I felt drained, like energy levels, like energy within you, when I felt drained and everything. Every fun fact, every time I've ever felt drained of my energy, I've always had to basically like separate myself from society in some sort of way, shape, or form. Even kind of like take a break from family, take a break from social activities and stuff like that. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about like all the energy that, makes lights come on and stuff like that. I'm talking about like your energy bank and your energy bank account. And from time to time throughout years, I've always done this, but I've always, like, when I lived at home, I would, spend more time in my bedroom or something like that. Excuse me. So that's kind of basically what I'm talking about here. And so what I would do is, spend some time by myself, kind of do what I like, maybe some self-care, self-love or whatever. And so that way you can kind of work on your energy levels, regain energy, and then, go back out into society and socialize or whatever the case may be. And so when I first started doing photography, of course, I was attracted to it because art form and stuff like that. But what photography eventually became for me was a way to disconnect from the world to be reconnected to the world. So basically, what I mean is disconnect from all the noise, all the mundane, everyday life stuff. If you live in the city, I would leave from the city and go out to like the countryside or whatever. And basically, what I would do with my photography is I would basically go to like a park or something like that, and I would honestly, this is scary. I wouldn't do this now, and I don't know why or I did do this then, but I left my phone in the car, and I would take me and my camera and go out in the woods and just, you know, hear the trees rustling or, look around and really take in nature and really kind of reconnect with the world and Mother Nature and the true world without all the noise and without all the hustle and bustle and stuff like that. And honestly, now when I think about that, I would never leave my phone in my car because you might need it. But what I started doing was just put my phone on airplane mode and, take my phone, my camera, and go out in the woods and become one. You just become one with nature. um, and yeah, that's basically what I would do. Because sometimes, it might look different for everybody. And you might do this and not even really notice that, oh, wow, I do this all the time or something like that. So, yeah, I've always done this in some sort of fashion. Like I said, a lot of times when I was at home, I would just go to my room, do what I want to do, whatever the case is. And then, started doing that with photography and got some pretty cool shots, and I wasn't worried about, oh, I got to get that shot. It was more so like, like I said, working on my energy level bank account, if that's how you want to look at it. So, yeah, and honestly, when I would be in nature, it was really great because 9 times out of 10, I mean, this was a park. I would go to various different parks, and you still have some people around you, but they're not really like worried about, oh, well, what are they doing? Because, they might be walking or working out or whatever the case may be. But yeah, a lot of times I would just do that, and so that way I'd regain energy and feel kind of like almost brand new again, But other times, I'm gonna look at my notes here. So I'll read to you what I have written down, basically. I put down, and I jot down like little blurbs, basically, so that way it'll kind of like, what I'm trying to hopefully do is, because when I'm jotting these things down, I can't just, oh, well, let me go and film, or, oh, let me go and record what I want to say real quick, because unfortunately, but fortunately, I do a video podcast, so, so, excuse me, basically what I have written down is sometimes we need to disconnect ourselves to work on not only ourselves, but our energy levels, realignment, and also to regain clarity. Get disconnected to look inward on yourself and to really evaluate where you are in your life and ask yourself, is this where I want to be? Is this where I want to go? And do I need to make changes? As well as ask yourself, am I unhappy with life and just things in general? And really allow yourself to brainstorm your life. So I do this because a lot of times, we use our energy for all sorts of different things. I would be here all day if I listed all the little, energy suckers, if that's how you want to look at it. But a lot of times, what society and the world that we live in does not teach you is, in order to remain successful in life, you have to sometimes guard yourself. Actually, all the time, you have to guard yourself. There's actually quite a few different things you have to do to stay successful and to be really, truly happy in your life. Which this is, I think, another reason why people who are jealous and people who just see the success that you post on social media, they're all like, oh, well, it must be so great for you to be able to stay at home, or it must be so fantastic to have a husband or partner who loves you and who's there for you. People get jealous about various different things. Those are just some, off the brain things. But what they don't understand is that it's not easy. I'm not talking about your husband loving you is not easy. What I'm talking about is like, staying happy in your life, really getting what you want out of your life. It's not easy. Like, you have to work on it. Now, the person that's posting about what's going great in their life, or maybe you see their highlight reels on social media and you're like, man, they live a fantastic life. They must be so happy. No. Yes, they are happy. But no, you have to continuously work on that. It doesn't just like I said in my last video or video before, if you build it, they will come. Just because you're building this life that you truly love and you've always dreamed about doesn't mean that once it's built, it's done. It is not that easy, people. And some of the most happiest people in the world are the most saddest people because they're probably an empath and they're probably taking in all this energy from other people who maybe they care about, maybe they don't care about. Maybe it's, I'm going off on a tangent now, but I'm an empath and I know that. Before, when I was young, I didn't really know that. But I've always wondered why I could read people so well. And now, as I've gotten older, I'm like, oh, well, it's because of that. And it's also because of some of my upbringing, what you learn as a child and stuff like that. So I'm constantly sucking in other people's energies. Not because I want to. It's just because I can either read people very well, or what I'll do is I'll be grocery shopping or in Target or wherever, the mall, and I will have random people that I don't know, that maybe they'll ask, oh, well, how's your day? And then all of a sudden they'll somehow or another tell me their whole life story and the woes and the and their battles and stuff like that. And I'm just like, I've always wondered, why do random people, I don't know these people, I've never seen this person in my life, why do they do that? Why do they come and tell me their whole life story and their battles and all this stuff? And then it dawned on me that, number one, I think it's because I'm an empath. They don't know that. And a lot of people don't know about all this stuff that I'm talking about on this podcast and all that. We're so one track minded as a society that if you just open your brain up just a little, you'll see that in the world it's more than just I don't know what you see. I hope that makes sense. So, let's just throw in religion for a minute. So, religion and stuff like that. Organized religion, mind you. There's more to the world than just Christianity, So, I'm not saying that, oh, well, you should change your beliefs and you should just become a whole brand new person. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that you should really tap into who you truly are and embrace that, is mainly what I'm saying. I think is the message I'm trying to get across. But anyways, I've always wondered that, why do people do that? And I think it's because I also let them talk. And I think it's the timing. I think it's the time, the place, the person that I am. I let people just talk, and yeah, I'll chime in here and there, or, I'll say, well, maybe you should think about it like this. And I think it's because, again, as a society, I'm getting excited talking about all this stuff, but as a society, excuse me, you're really not taught to, oh, well, talk about your problems, or, oh, you should really set aside time to work on yourself. No, it's always like, okay, you got to be going. You got to be thinking about, you got to be 3 steps ahead, because if you're not, you're not going to be successful. So, that's a flaw in our society because your brain, your mind, body, soul, your whole being cannot just keep going and 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 going. Can you go a day without sleeping? No, you can't. And if you can, you're probably on drugs, okay? Like, I know that sounds crazy, but I mean, I say it like it is. You know what I mean? I'm a realist at the end of the day. Like I said in my last video, like, you can't, as a human being, realistically go a day without sleeping. And that's what I sort of compare it to because sleep, while you're sleeping, your body does what? Heals itself. And if you don't get enough sleep, you're what? Tired the next day. You're irritable. Like you got, zits on your face still or whatever. I mean, I don't know. I feel like I sound like a crazy person. But I feel like a lot of people can relate to this because this is stuff that I haven't seen anybody really like talk about this stuff. And I think it's interesting. Because like I said, I've always tried to, with myself, as me and the person that I am, I've always tried to work on myself. What can I change? What can I make better? Am I happy in my life? Is this where I want to be going? And stuff like that. Because that's how you can truly learn yourself. You can grow yourself. And you can really at least try to get out of life what you truly want, So, yeah, that's basically, excuse me, I think what I'm trying to say. So, whatever that looks like for you. Like, if you have to get in your car, and I've done this too. If you get in your car, put on music that you truly like and just drive around. You don't have a destination. You don't have plans. You gotta basically take your life, sort of put it on pause for a minute and be like, you know what? It's a great day outside. The weather's nice. Let me get my car, put down the windows so you can feel the air. You can smell the fresh cut grass. And put on some music that you really like and enjoy. Don't put on sad music unless you're sad and you want to get out a good cry. I'm talking about like upbeat, and just drive around. What I've done before in the past, I've done that during the daytime and I've also done it during the nighttime. I know that sounds crazy too. Basically, what I do is I get in my car. I might bring a little drink with me. What I mean is like a water or a soda that you like. Kind of like maybe a coffee. I might get an iced coffee or something from like Starbucks or wherever. Or I might just make a little iced coffee to bring with me. It's kind of like self-care, sort of, self-love, self-care. And then I get my car, I'll put down the windows, because usually I do this when it's like summer or spring or fall. That's a good, if you haven't done it during the fall time, like a good fall night, just get in your car, put on some music that you really love, put down your windows, and I have a sunroof, so I put down my sunroof or, peel it back. And just let the crisp night air in and just let it mess your hair up. You know what I mean? It's all about, I feel like during this time, The key here is to just let go. Let go. You don't have to keep your hair, oh, well, I got to keep my hair nice because you're not going anywhere. You're probably just going to come back home. Now, if you're doing it during the day, bring your brush with you. I don't know. Put a hat on, you know what I mean? So, put your hair back. I can't speak today, apparently. I think you get the point. So, the point is, okay, here's the highlights. Let go. Really dive in deep within you and really look inward. Don't just, oh, well, I could have done this better and I could have done that better. That's not what this time is about. This time is about really looking within yourself and really asking you those Ask yourself those hard questions. And maybe you don't want to hear the answers to them. But that is the only way that you can truly change your life and truly grow yourself and try to at least attempt to get out of this life and out of this time that you have on this world, which is a privilege, by the way, and really just try to get out of it what you want and what you dream of, So my son is in his bouncy seat. That's where James is at. He's just looking up at me like, what are you talking about? But yeah, I think I got out everything I wanted to say. Like, you have to, I don't know, there's a lot to life and there's a lot going on and there's a lot of points in this video that I wanted to make. Like, sometimes, like I said, you have to let go in order to reach in yourself and just work on yourself, which, is self-love and it's energy and motion. Set out an intent in your life. Nothing is ever too big. Like, you can achieve amazing things if you set that as your intention. You can't be in your own way. You can't say, oh, well, I can't be an entrepreneur because, well, this and that and the other won't work. Or maybe you're too afraid, which, let me tell you, it's a big leap to be an entrepreneur because that's truly one job that, again, people will see and be like, wow, you make your own schedule? You can work whenever? You don't have to report to a manager? And you're like, yeah, those are all amazing things. And what a privilege it is. But at the same time, being an entrepreneur and owning your own business is a almost 24/7 job. Okay, if you're a good entrepreneur and business owner, you never stop working, truly, believe me. That's something that I'm working on. I'm newly an entrepreneur, but honestly not really new because when I first started my graphic design business, this was probably back in 2012, I believe it was. All this stuff kind of started around the same time. My photography, my graphic design. I was going into college. When I came out of college, I always wanted to start my own design business. It was called LLBG Productions. And the reason why it was called Productions is because it incorporated my photography and my graphic design. And so nowadays it's called KB Creative NC, and it's an actual, business. Even the LLBG was an actual business, but I started all this stuff around a time where I just didn't have time. I was trying to do all these things and really divvy myself up into all these things to do all these things at 100%. And again, like I said in this video, you cannot do that all the time. You can't just hustle, 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 grind, 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 grind. You've got to grind, 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 grind. Pause. Let me, sit back for a minute. Slow down. Take in where you are in your life. If you're happy, do I need to change some things? Am I truly happy about this business and the direction that it's going? Stuff like that. So, yeah, I mean, it's all very spiritual. When you look at it and when you actually break it down to the brass tacks, I gotta be a little funny. When you actually look at it black and white, okay? Whether you're a Christian, you're a Buddhist, whatever your beliefs are, because that's where it all stems from at the end of the day, is your belief system, and then basically how you really truly treat yourself. Those kind of go hand in hand whenever you break it down to black and white, So, yes. So, yeah, I mean, it can be a spiritual. If you're not, religious or whatever, it's still sort of spiritual. Because maybe you don't follow Christianity, you're not a Buddhist, or you're not whatever. There's all kinds of different religions out there in the world. If you're not in a religion, then listen to the earth. That's basically the Indians. I mean, truly, the Indians were one with the earth, and they really that was their belief system, their religion, and stuff like that. And yeah, I mean, I think that's because when you actually allow yourself to, be selfish in that moment and think about, okay, yourself, and go inward, you're then able to bring out what you truly want. And let me tell you, even if you are afraid and you think that you can't achieve it, or, well, that's asking too much, or whatever the case is, just keep thinking about it. Keep it in your brain. And this is stuff that I do, and nobody knows that I'm doing it, because I'm not putting it on social media. I'm not saying, oh, okay, well, let's go ahead and film myself doing this. This is when you truly do it, you don't broadcast it to the world. You honestly put your phone on airplane mode. You don't watch, you're not watching TV. You're not sometimes listening to music. You go sit outside in the middle of the woods and you notice your surroundings. You hear the wind in the leaves. All these things, all your senses. You really pay attention to all of your senses, and something amazing happens whenever you do all those things. Maybe you do all these things and your awakening happens, or, stuff like that. Like, I've always done this throughout the years, and usually I look inward, and a lot of times, sometimes I'll have an awakening happen, or realignment, and it's uncomfortable and scary. How about I said scared? It's scary, and you're like, is this truly what I want to do? Like, do I really want to change that? Do I really want to move and do all these things? Like, okay, let me just tell you, within the last year, I moved. I upped and moved from a city that I had been living in for a very long time. I was pregnant. I She's trying to get, my cat is distracting me, I'm sorry. Okay, within the last year, I moved, I was pregnant, I changed jobs, I did all these things that are very scary, very uncomfortable, but I could tell that it was all needed, and every decision that I made was the correct decision to make at the end of the day because I felt truly that it was the right decision to make. Yeah, a lot of changes. And a lot of people, when I sit down and actually talk about it, a lot of people would be like, wow, you can really be a different person in a different place in a year, if you allow it and if you're not in your own way. But I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. I was trying not to make it too long, but every time I say that, it's always like 40 minutes, and then I'm like, oh, that wasn't long at all. No, I just really enjoy sitting down, and this is kind of like a way to kind of, I don't know, it's kind of like you're on the phone talking to a friend or something like that. So, yes, I'm gonna go through here, make sure I didn't miss anything that I wanted to talk about. Um, yes, I don't think there's anything that I left out, other than I wanted to put out there in the world. Um, have you all heard about something called binaural beats? If not, you should really look it up. And a lot of times, what I'll do is, and I plan on talking more about like within the last year, my pregnancy, stuff like that. Um, and maybe as I go along, it'll, more and more will come out. But here lately, I play music for my son. I play classical music, the typical like music. I don't play lullaby music like the typical baby music. That's not what I'm talking about. I'll play Studio Ghibli style music, lo-fi music, stuff like that. Really calm music. So within all of that, I found binaural beats. And again, some people will probably hear this and be like, that's a crock of, that's BS. But basically what binaural beats is it's like, okay, we recorded this song or played this song at 1111 hertz or 888 hertz or whatever the case is, the angel numbers. They do that because the angel numbers are very popular. And again, it kind of ties into my capitalism video. Like, all these things, I do believe some of these things, but a lot of these things, like whenever it comes to marketing, are all buzzwords. So they're marketing words. So that's what buzzwords means, marketing. So yeah, I wanted to throw that out there. I've been listening to that. It's basically music at different frequencies. And it kind of ties into today's video because I didn't really dive in deep to the energy. But everybody has energy. We all operate on energy. What frequency this person is at over here might be different than the frequency I'm running on, which is why sometimes you will click with some people and not with other people. Because of the frequency that their energy levels and that their energy is running on and their beliefs and all this. I think it's a long video, a longer video than this one, but I do want to kind of like, dive into energy frequencies and stuff like that, just because it's very interesting to me. It might not be to you, but I think it's pretty interesting. But yeah, anyways, I hope everybody has a great rest of your day whenever you're listening to this or watching this. Again, happy Easter if that's something you celebrate. Yeah, I mean, that's basically it. I will see you all. And again, thank you I'm repeating myself. Before I say goodbye, thank you for watching and spending the time, supporting and liking and sharing and all that. I really, truly appreciate it. Seriously. It's awesome. The support is awesome always. But y'all have a great day and go out there and be amazing. I don't know what else to say. All right, well, cheers. I will see y'all in the next episode.